To spend the night in Nan Madol? No way. The last person who stayed there about 100 years ago was a German governor. They found him dead the next morning. This is what Bermin F. Weilbacher, Pompeii's director of tourism and natural resources, have said. There is an island in the Pacific Ocean where ancient stones above coral reefs hold a 14,000-year-old mystery. From time to tides, today we'll discover the lost world, Nan Madol. Nan Madol is an island with a lost history. It is a man-made island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It is estimated that the island has been in existence since the 2nd century AD, but the island itself tells another story. The modern name Nan Madol means that the spaces between, and refers to the canals that go through the ruins, while the traditional name of the island is San Na Ling, which refers to the reef of heaven. Nan Madol is part of Micronesia. Micronesia is an independent country of the United States, and Nan Madol is one of its 707 island cities, floating above the coral reefs of the Pacific Ocean. This city has 92 islands in it, which are connected through huge blocks of stone and canals. It spreads across an area of 75 hectares. The archaeology of the island sparks the what and how questions. There's no explanation of when the island was made and how those heavy blocks were transported in the middle of the ocean. The walls around the city are up to 15 meters long and 5 meters thick. Each block of stone is 5 tons, and some are up to 50 tons. Remember that the people at that time didn't have heavy machinery, so how did humans move a 50-ton stone? If you think that's crazy, you won't believe what we're about to tell you. The entire structure of the island weighs 750,000 tons and stands on coral reefs. The island has 20-foot columns of black lava rock. The shape of these columns is naturally hexagonal, pentagonal, and straight. As islands are usually hot, the technology used in making their cabins insulated is remarkable. The logs are used to make the outer as well as the inner platform of the cabins. As the islands are made upon coral reefs, the inhabitants made sure to use the corals and hatch structures like palm branches and straws for their purpose of elevating the platforms and keeping the cabins cool. Well, this is an intimidating architecture tells us that the residents weren't a fan of the sun. At least 25,000 people would have worked to construct the entire island. Scholars think that the power and effort to make these walls and columns are equal to making the pyramids of Giza. Before you think about some aliens bringing down the stones, let's discuss what the historians say. Modern historians and archaeologists think that these huge rocks might have been transported to the island through rafts. Still, again, they don't have answers when it comes to the question of what the engineering behind building walls and columns on coral reefs was. The archaeological technology for construction is remarkable. The walls are constructed without any cement. They simply stand tall just by positioning, and coral fills between them. It's mind-blowing how some of the walls and columns are still in structure after thousands of years. We will be happy if you take some time to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Some historians have a theory of their own. According to them, the basalt columns have been extracted from a site 25 miles from Pompeii. These columns are traveled to the submerged coral reefs, serving as the island's foundation. A theory says that the builders used ropes and levers to stack rocks, form tombs, ceremonial sites, etc. Man-made technology isn't the only astonishing thing about Nan Madol. The weather on the island is creepy as well. Many severe storms originate from Madol, but they rarely hit the island itself. There are many questionable activities in Nan Madol, such as the seismic activity that generates piezoelectricity, in the neighboring island, Pompeii. Together, piezoelectricity and magnetic basalt lead to skywards concentrated coronal discharge, which makes Nan Madol an ancient weather manipulator. When talking about the advanced technology used to build the island, many legends say that the builders used black magic to elevate the materials on water. Some researchers also think the legends are connected to sonar pulse and sound wave technology. Although all these claims have no evidence, the fascinating part is that there is no evidence that these claims are false either. If you're interested in the topic so far, we recommend after finishing the video to take a look at our episode about Angkor Wat, ancient hydraulic city using modern technology. You will find a link to the video in the description. Things just keep on getting complicated. Typically, islands are made above the water, but Nan Madol is built below the water. You might be thinking that it must have sunk due to earthquakes or a huge ocean rose. But Nan Madol isn't in the sea, it's in the Pacific Ocean. And if the water level in the Pacific Ocean rose, where did all the water come from? The last time the Pacific Ocean rose was when all the ice on the Earth melted, which was 14,000 years ago. This raises another question. Was Nan Madol built 14,000 years ago? That's not what happened, because geologists who study Earth movements confirm that the island did not sink at all. So the question remains, how did this city go underwater? We don't have any solid explanations, but there are many myths and legends. It is said that the land was inhabited by native Pompeans in the 2nd century AD, but it is unclear when the construction began. From the 5th to the 11th century AD, the island served as a ritual and ceremonial center for the rulers of the Shrouded dynasty. The Shrouded dynasty untied the Pompeans of all islands from 1100 to 1648 AD. After the Shrouded dynasty, there were only two known eras Moyakawa, which means the period of building, and Moayan Aramas, which means the period of peopling. Now you'll think that the people of Nan Madol were tech geeks, but you'll be surprised to know they were also quite religious. It's a rare combination indeed. One of the most common legends of Nan Madol is the rival of twin sorcerers, Alasipa and Alasopva, which came from the mythic Western Kata. The twins were different in appearance from the locals. They were much taller. The twins found a place on the island to make an altar for worshiping the god of agriculture, Nanasan Safi. This legend explains how those huge rocks were stacked. The legend says that the brother performed some powerful rituals that invoked a flying dragon that helped in the construction. Soon Olasipa died, and Olasopa became the ruler, the first Shrouded king of the Shrouded dynasty. Nan Madol was said to be the prime city of the empire. All the elite class of the Shrouded dynasty lived in Nan Madol, and all political and ceremonial activities were performed there. The local chiefs of the villages were forced to move to Nan Madol by the Shrouded kings so that their activities could be closely observed. This makes us think that the Shrouded dynasty was indeed disciplined. The different islets of Nan Madol were used for different purposes. For instance, the northeast part was used for ceremonial and ritual activities. It was a sacred part of the island. The sea walls were used as the burial place. Other inlets were used for residential, food preparation, and construction purposes. At Nan Madol, the ruler Shrouded had the ultimate power. He owned the land, its contents, and even the inhabitants, and leased them to other landlords. No clean water, no crops, no problem, because there was a strict custom to bring fresh fruit and fish for the ruler and provide water and crops for people. The landlords owned people who harvested the land. Although the Shrouded dynasty was disciplined, it was still an ancient dynasty. Like every ancient dynasty, the ruler played God. and the history proves that whoever played God went down in ruins. Nan Madol was ruled by the Cellular dynasty for 1,000 years, but there's no physical evidence of their existence. The civilization didn't leave behind any physical evidence like carvings, paintings, or scriptures. The history of their existence was passed orally through generations and generations of Pompeans. The Pompeans describe Cellular as deeply religious and cruel. To this day, the Pompeans are remembered with fear and a superstitious civilization. Perhaps this gives us a hint that the Pompeans aren't a fan of the Cellular. Now you'll be wondering how such a powerful dynasty fell. According to another legend, it was their extremely oppressive behavior and centralized system. Here comes another mythical warrior, Isocleklikal, from an island called Khosrai, 530 kilometers east of Nan Madol. Cellular evoked the god of thunder because of their oppression. The god impregnated a local, and through that, Isocleklikal was born. Isocleklikal brought the Nanwarki system, which is in one way or another still practiced to this day. The Pompeans say that there were 13 wars between Isocleklikal and Cellular. Many other conspiracies surround the island, including the accusation that it is cursed. In the 20th century, the German colonel governor of Pompeii died a day after visiting a tomb on the island. Although the report said the governor died of sunstroke, the locals believe that the island is haunted. Nan Madol is also called the Island of Ghosts among the locals. It is a rumor that whoever stays overnight on the island will probably die. The UFO community has sighted many strange orbs around the island. The island was earlier named Reef of Heaven. Heaven is a common word used for many places around the world, but in the case of Nan Madol, it makes us think that it might have some connection with outer space because of its unusual history. Many other places have legends similar to Nan Madol's, and it is certainly possible that these places are travel hubs for the aliens. Many people connect Nan Madol with the lost cities, Atlantis and Lemuria. Submerged in water, the island of Nan Madol stands still with its mysteries, legends, and myths. The world continues to find the truth, while the island stays a captivating enigma. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Until the next time, we will take a look at another amazing story.